Bonjour à toutes et à tous, welcome back to Voyage, and in today's video I'm going to talk about 5 things that I love about French. And this is sort of a follow-up video to my previous one, 5 things I hate about French, so that I don't have any Frenchies coming for me. But really, like I said in my previous video, there's always a good side and a bad side to anything in life that includes language learning, and I'm really excited to talk about the things that I love today and even things that I wish that we had in English. A little bit of background, I've been learning French for a bit over a year now, and I went from not even being able to say a single word in French to now I'm able to live and work in France. And I get a lot of people asking me for advice when it comes to language learning and how I learnt French and things like that, and I can really only talk about my own experience on how I learnt French relatively quickly. When I first decided that I actually wanted to learn French, I tried teaching myself, watching videos, trying to learn the most commonly spoken words. It was good, but it wasn't enough. And even though I was teaching myself French, I wasn't speaking barely any French. And you have to obviously speak the language if you want to be able to learn it, right? So that's when I decided to sign up for a Lingoda Super Sprint, and you might have heard me mention Lingoda before. I did a full review on Lingoda. It's my honest review as a student doing one of their sprints, and I'll link that in the description if you are interested in checking that out. But if you've never heard of Lingoda, then this could be a great opportunity for you if you really want to level up your language learning. Lingoda is an online language school that provides subscription-based classes for French, Spanish, English, and German. But they are most widely known for their sprints, and if you don't know what their sprints are, it's basically a 2-month intensive where you take 1 class a day for every single day for 60 days, and it's a 1-hour class, and if you attend all of these classes you get a full refund. The lessons are in a small group with a French professor or Spanish or whatever language you're trying to learn, and this is exactly what I did to basically learn French. And I managed to successfully complete their super sprint, which meant I got a full refund as well. And if 60 classes in 60 days is too much for you, they also do their regular sprints, which is 30 classes in 60 days, and you get a 50% refund instead of 100%, but still pretty good. Me personally, I really love this approach because it rewards people who are putting a lot of effort in, and it's not even just about the refund. For me, having that as kind of a goal helped me to go to every single class, because I know for a fact if there wasn't some kind of incentive at the end, then I totally would have come up with excuses and missed at least a couple classes. But hey, that's just me. Maybe you guys are able to conjure up motivation more easily than me. They have classes 24 hours a day, so no matter what time zone you're in, what country you're in, you'll always be able to find a class. They have loads of professors to choose from, as well as homework, tests, and exercises that you can do. You can also download all of the material, so if you want to download material before a class. For those of you who really want to improve your language skills and try out a sprint, they have an upcoming one that starts on the 16th of May, and they also occur monthly as well, so if you can't make that one, then you can make the next one. I'll leave a discount code in the description, as well as one for people who just want to try out their regular subscription-based classes. Without further ado, let's get into 5 things I love about French. The first thing that I absolutely love about the French language is the word vous, and actually it's a love-hate relationship, because I don't like how we have to use vous to talk to people who are older than us or to be more respectful or something like that, but I do love the word vous because you can use it to address more than one person. For example, in English you can say, hey, do you want to go to the shops tomorrow? But if you want to address more than one person, what would you say? You would usually say, hey, do you guys want to go to the shops tomorrow? Do y'all want to go to the shops tomorrow? And I'm even guilty of, when I was younger, I would say yous. Do yous want to go? Whereas in French it's so simple. If you're talking to one person you say tu, and if you're talking to multiple people you use vous. Why don't we have this? So in English you always have to add an extra word on the end to add context, to make it clear that you're talking to everyone and not just one person. So whoever out there is deciding what words to add to the English language, please add something like this. We need this. The second thing I love about French is the glorious word si. And just like in Spanish, it means yes, but it means yes to a negative question. And what does that even mean? I'll give you an example. So if someone was to ask you, do you want some bread? You would say oui. And if they asked you, you don't want any bread? You would say si, because you're responding to a negative question. So you're agreeing with their question, basically. Tu veux du pain? Oui. Tu veux pas de pain? Si. So why is this useful? Well, let me show you. This is a typical conversation that could happen in English. So you don't want any bread? No, thanks. Wait, so you do want bread? No. I meant no as in yes, I don't want bread. Okay, so you don't want bread. Yes, exactly. I'm saying no to the bread. Okay. Great, and you said that you don't want sides either? Yes, exactly. The problem in English is it's not super clear because you can't say no, I don't want bread or yes, I don't want bread. In French, you can just use si to the negative question and then they know that you're agreeing with their question. I hope I explained that well. And the third thing that I love, and this is just a little thing, but I noticed that in French, it can be easier with adjectives such as smaller, bigger, shorter, taller. In French, it's super simple. You can say plus grand, moins grand, plus petit, moins petit. Whereas in English, sometimes you can have two options. You can use it's more crazy than, or it's crazier than, it's more funny than, or it's funnier than. So you have more options, I guess. And most people just use these interchangeably and they mean the same thing. The fourth thing that I love about French is they have some hilarious expressions. Like, seriously, I don't know who came up with this stuff. So I thought I would share some of these with you because they're just too good to be true. The first one is lèche vitrine, which actually means window shopping, just like we have the word in English, window shopping, but it directly translates to window licking. Another one that I absolutely love is baguette magique, and this is actually a wand in French, that's how they say it, but literally translated, it's magic baguette. Another one that I love is crotte de nez, and this is how they actually say boogers in French, but the literal translation is nose droppings. Wow. And there's also a whole bunch of cool idioms, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Poser un lapin à quelqu'un. This means literally to put a rabbit to someone. Doesn't really make much sense. But the expression actually refers to when you're stood up. Avoir le cafard. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, cafard. But this is literally to have a cockroach. And what it actually means is to be a bit depressed or sad. Prendre la tête, and this is one that I've actually used as well. You can say to someone, prends pas la tête, like don't worry, don't let it get to you. But literally it means to take the head or to take your head or something like that. The next one is être à l'ouest, and this one actually means to be like zoned out or spaced out. But it makes me wonder why is it OS? I live in the west of France. Maybe they're a bit strange over here. I don't know what the history of that one is. The next one, and this one is used a lot, and it's avoir la flemme. And I always hear people say this like j'ai la flemme or something like that. And basically it means like I'm lazy, I'm too lazy to do this today, or I can't be bothered. The next one is avoir la gueule de bois. And what does that mean? It means a hangover. So if you want to come to France, maybe learn this one. But it's very weird because gueule actually means like the mouth area of like a carnivore animal, like the muzzle, you know what I mean? So it's very strange that you have the mouth of this when you're hungover. I'm not sure where this comes from. If you're French, maybe you can let me know in the comments like what's going on with the people who are making these. The next one is avoir un chat dans la gorge. And this one's kind of strange. It means literally means to have a cat in your throat, and I'm pretty sure it means like when you have a sore throat, like to the point where you can't talk that well. I think we have an English equivalent, but I cannot remember if we do. So if you think of one, let me know. The next one is boire comme un trou, which is kind of weird. It directly translates to drink like a hole, and the equivalent is in English to drink like a fish. You know what I mean? You drink so much that, yeah. The next one is un froid de canard, and I'm not sure where this one came from, but basically it means that it's really, really cold, but it literally translates to a duck's cold. And if you've ever wondered what's the equivalent of it's raining cats and dogs in French, it's raining ropes. Plus froid des cordes. Bon bah, c'est pas très logique en anglais non plus. Blanchir de l'argent literally translates to whiten money, but what it actually means is to launder money. That's what it is. The next one is casser les pieds à quelqu'un. And this is kind of like in English, oh, you're breaking my back. It's kind of the same thing, you're breaking my feet when someone's giving you a hard time. This next one is one of my favorite. It's faire la grasse matinée, and it literally translates to like to do a fat morning, but what it actually means is to sleep in. So I'm not sure if you've started to notice, but the French really love these expressions when it comes to like food as well. And the next one is raconter des salades. And this literally means to talk shit or to talk nonsense basically. But why salad? Like why salad out of all of the things? Another food related one is s'occuper de ses oignons. How strange is this one? So it literally translates to to like watch your onions, but what it actually means is to mind your own business. So like, go watch your own onions. Okay, I'll do one more because I could literally go on for ages. There's so many funny ones. But the last one is tomber dans les pommes. And this literally means to like fall into apples, but what it actually means is to faint. I guess the equivalent maybe in English would be like to see stars. Is that the equivalent? I don't know. And lastly, the fifth thing that I love about French, and that is all of the words that exist in French that don't exist in English. And obviously this can be carried along to every language, but I think it's really cool to kind of discover words that might be cool to have in English as well. And I'll start with one of my favorite French words of all time, and that is n'importe quoi. And this one is so good. It can translate to nonsense or oh yeah, whatever. Maybe if you like don't believe something that someone's saying, you could say n'importe quoi. Or if you're telling someone about something really that you didn't like that happened to you, you could be like, oh, c'est n'importe quoi, mais non, c'est pas vrai, n'importe quoi. I know I just said that the last one is my favorite, but I think my ultimate favorite is this next one, and it's oulala. And why did I add oulala in this thing of words that don't exist in English? Because is it even a word? I don't know. But the reason it's so great is because it can mean so many things. It could mean like you're upset, you're surprised, you're happy. It all depends on the tone of the oula. Oulala, oula, 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 oula la la la. And it's funny because in English, when we say ooh la la in a mocking way, we often use it to represent kind of like ooh la la, like look at you two or something like that. But in French, it's almost never used like that. One word that they have in French that we definitely don't have in English is crapoter, and it literally means to smoke without inhaling, which is kind of funny that they have a word for this, like it's so specific. Another word that doesn't exist in English is flâner, and what this word actually means, it's kind of like to go for a stroll in the street, but not quite like this. It's going for a walk basically without any goal whatsoever in mind. So no specific goal, you're just walking around, like imagine walking in Paris, doing nothing, just to see the sights. The next one is chanter en yaourt, and I can never say yogurt in French, it's too difficult. But what this one actually means is, you know when you're singing along to a song, but you don't know all the words, you just kind of mumble and kind of guess the words. This is what they say in French, singing in yogurt. I love that they have a specific expression for this because I don't think we have one in English, and it's such a common thing that happens. The next word is râler, and this word kind of means a mix between complain while mumbling or grumbling. And there's actually a lot of words to describe different types of complaining in French. They have a lot of words to describe complaining. And I'm not saying they love to complain here, I'm just saying that they've got a lot of vocab for it. Another word that we don't really have a direct translation for in English is dépaysement. And what this word actually means, it's when you go to a foreign country and it's really different to the point where you kind of feel like an outsider, a little bit lost, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's not like homesickness or culture shock. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. You could even say something like, you know, as an Australian, I don't want to travel to New Zealand because there's not enough dépaysement. Like it's not different enough. The next word is frileux, ou frileuse. And this basically means like a sensitivity to the cold. So someone can be frieux or frieuse, and that means that they have extra sensitivity against the cold. I guess it's because it's so cold here. The next word is empêchement. And this word kind of means a situation that happened that kind of interrupted you that you don't really want to talk about. For example, if you're late to something, maybe your work or something important, you could say j'ai eu un empêchement. It just means that something came up and you don't want to talk about it, and that's that. An English equivalent maybe could be like something came up. I Google translated it and the translation said impediment, but it's not really that. And the last one that I wanted to talk about is kind of cute, and it's retrouvailles, and it's basically when you've gone a long period of time without seeing like your friends or something like that, and when you meet up again, that's what this is. I guess the English equivalent could be a mix between reunion, homecoming, but not quite. It's a bit more specific than that. So those are the 5 things that I love about French, but I wanted to chuck in a little bonus thing, like 5.1 things that I like about French, and that is that French is so similar to English. French and Latin words make up 58% of the modern English that's spoken today, and on their own, purely French words make up 29% of English words. Over 10,000 English words come from French. And this dates way back to when the Normans conquested England and they introduced a whole bunch of that vocabulary. But I just thought I would chuck that in there. If you do decide to choose French as your language that you want to learn, it's a huge benefit because without knowing it, you already know a bunch of French words. And that's it, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.